Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to show you how you can make the most out of an average or low rep rate. Alright guys, so not everyone is going to have that 500 RPM that we usually see on the pro bowlers like AJ Johnson or sometimes even Belmo. Like, the reality is that the majority of bowlers are going to have a lower or average rep rate. But that doesn't mean that you cannot adjust to the modern game. So today, we're going to go over 3 variants that you can use to adapt to any pattern if you have a low or average rep rate. Players with a lower rep rate will tend to have an advantage when the conditions are fresh. Is that so? Because naturally they're going to create like a smooth motion and they're going to be able to get to the pocket consistently. But usually the problems start when the conditions start changing, and then you need to migrate to the middle part of the lane, and that's going to force you to open up your angles. And due to the lower rep rate, it may be harder for you to create the shape you need in order to get to the pocket. So one key component that you can use to adapt to this is simply by adjusting your speed. So if you throw the ball slower, it will give you more time on the lane, and therefore it's going to give you the hook you need in order to get back to the pocket. So now we're going to go to the lanes, and we're going to show you a simple tip that you can use to slow down your speed. Alright guys, so one easy tip that you can use to slow down your speed, it is simply as moving up on the approach. And this works, it's not because out of magic, it works because using smaller steps will stop you for generating too much power. Alright, so now I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna throw a shot with my normal speed, and you're gonna see how the ball is gonna go maybe a little light, but then I'm gonna move towards the middle part of the lane and also gonna slow down my speed so you guys can see the difference. Now we're going to talk about equipment. So if you're a low rep rate player or a medium rep rate player, you may like those solid bowling balls with a higher differential cores, because on the fresh, those balls are usually going to look great to you because they're going to hook early and it's going to give you that predictable motion that you like to see out on the lanes. But as we mentioned, when the lanes start transitioning and it's forced you to create different shapes, you may need to switch to a per bowling ball or to a hybrid bowling ball. But because in the past, you may not like those type of bowling balls because they don't hook as much. But when the transition happens, you will need these bowling balls to get to the front part of the lane and give you the shape that you need. So now we're gonna go to the lanes, and I'm gonna show you a tip that you can do to improve the reaction on those per bowling balls. All right guys, so now we're gonna talk about the equipment. So as I mentioned before, the big hooking balls, solid cover stock bowling balls are usually the ones that we gonna like the most. But we also gonna need to use some per bowling balls. Sometimes we don't like them as much because they don't hook as much, and that's because they come with a polished cover. But we need to increase that hook to get us to the front part of the lane a little bit better. By taking the polish off by using an Avalon pad can help us significantly to improve our performance with per bowling balls, because even if they are not polished, they're still gonna get better through the front part of the lane, and it's gonna give us a little better backhand reaction than a solid cover stock. Alright guys, so the third thing that we're gonna talk about here is gonna be loft. So for some bowlers, like adjusting and moving to the middle part of the lane and trying to open up the angles might be not as easy to do. So the other option would be create a little bit of loft. No, I'm not talking like the kind of loft that you see on TV where you see the ball going all the way up to the arrows. We're talking about like a small loft just to get a little bit through the front part of the lane that is going to help the ball to skid a little bit more and therefore get into a better position so it hooks in the spot that it needs to hook. So one common misconception about the loft is that it all comes from the shoulder or the elbow or your arm. Actually, what you need in order to loft the bowling ball, you just need to use your legs more. You need to, at the approach, you need to really use the power that you generate during the approach to get that energy transferred to the ball and be able to loft the ball a little bit. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching. Please let us know in the comments what other videos would you like us to make. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.